Hello, hello, hello. Today we're going to talk about secrets to success as a feminine energy woman, and they are not things like receive gifts and accept things and, all of that jargon that we are used to listening to. These are 10 habits, one might say. These are 10 non-negotiables, one might add. And if you are watching this, you will see that I'm untangling my necklaces, which love to tangle. Why must you cause more drama than you are worth? Anyway, we leave them, we move on. Guys, my book is so close to launching. Please do pre-order. It's in the description boxes everywhere. I'm so excited. And a lot of the points I'm going to touch on this are, some of them are in the book, some of them are not. But trust me, the stuff you will see in the book is new, delicious, and incredible. I am 100% sure you will enjoy it. Let's move on to the 10 success principles of women who are successful. Number 1, early to bed and early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, let's set aside the fact that everyone's mum and their dog and their granny used to tell them to get up early and go to bed early. If you want to be a woman who is in your success and in your element and living with your circadian rhythm, there is no wonder that everyone on their podcast, and as I said, your grandma, talks about going to bed early and waking up early. Why, you might say? Because if you adhere to the natural rhythms of your body, especially as a woman, what does that mean? That means your natural cycle. That means times in your life. That means the winters of the year as well, and the foods that are in season. And if you want me to go into that, I can. But I'm going to tell you something. It's really, really important to adhere to natural elements if you want to be a feminine woman who is in your element and is successful. Since I used to listen to me. I used to go to bed at 1 a.m. and wake up at God knows what hour and wonder why I felt a bit off or sluggish or this one or that one or the other one. Let me tell you, if you go to bed as the sun sets, and I don't mean as the sun sets you fall into bed, but as it gets dark, your body unwinds, you turn off all the blue light, you use the red light, and you wake up as the sun rises. And the most important part is you repeat it in the same way every day. That will create a rhythm in your body where your body is ready for the day, it's excited for the day, it's honed, primed, and it's good to go. It definitely changed my success. Do you wonder why I wear a whoop and an aura ring? I'm showing them to you if you're watching this on YouTube, not because I'm a psycho, actually has become a psycho, but because I am so religious about my sleep and getting up on time and all of that good stuff. And let me tell you, I have a 4-month-old. If you are a parent and you've gone through the 4-month sleep regression, are you okay? Because I'm not okay. I've done it twice. I've got 2 children and I am not okay. But even with that, I am tracking my sleep and making sure that there is a rhythm, and I might not always hit it, but I go to bed early and I get up early, and I don't know how, but I get more done now than I did before this habit and before having children. How was it that I could not record 1 YouTube video a week before having children and not having any responsibilities? Tell me how. Pray tell me. I don't know how. And now I can record a podcast, a couple of YouTube videos, write a book, and all that stuff. Why? Because I go to bed early and I get up early. Let me tell you, it changed something. Number 2 habit of feminine women who create success in their life is a positive mindset. The art of reframing is key. I'm going to tell you it as an anecdote because I could tell you, the art of reframing, see things positively when they're not, yada, yada, till the cows come home. This is probably the busiest season of my life. I was talking to somebody, a therapist. This is not my therapist. This is somebody I know who is a therapist. And I was saying that I have had something come up which I've always wanted to do, but I'm not sure I can fit it into my life work-wise because I've got such a young child and I've got so much work going on and I've got so many things on my plate currently that I don't feel I can do it, and it would not fit in because I would not because it time-wise wouldn't fit in, but because I couldn't put my best foot forward essentially. And she said to me, what if you reframe it as the fact that this thing that you want to do, you're not sure in what capacity you could do it, but perhaps the fact that you have children and so much on your plate means that you could just dip your toe into it. Let's say it's weightlifting, this thing that I want to do. Let's say it's weightlifting, just a comparison, because I don't want to talk about it until it happens, or if it happens, or if I decide to do it. So let's say I want to become a professional weightlifter, right? And because I don't know if I can dedicate the time, I don't know if I even like weightlifting, she said to me, listen, maybe because you have the children and because you have so many projects in the book and all this, maybe they're actually a protective thing for you, that you wouldn't launch into weightlifting and completely do something that you don't want to do, but you just get to dip your foot in. And the fact that you have children and so many other projects in your life right now means that you can kind of try it but not fully commit, and it's kind of protective. So I reframed in that moment, seeing my children and my busyness and my motherhood and my podcast and my work and everything as something that I think, oh, because of this I can't do that, my weightlifting career, let's just say. And she said, listen, maybe it is a protective thing. And in that moment my mind completely changed. I had this mindset about, and I talk about it in my book and several podcasts already, but when I was cheated on in the past, I reframed it to the fact that I would have never left that person had they not cheated, because I'm a committed person, I keep pushing, I keep trying. So had he not cheated, I would have never left, and I would have been with someone who doesn't truly like me or love me, right? Absolute trage. And having talked to her, I realized, wow, me being a mom right now of a young child and kids who need me isn't a hindrance, but they are protecting me from maybe going into something that I have never done before. Weightlifting is a big commitment. Do I really want to be a bodybuilder? By the way, it's not bodybuilding, but you know what I mean. So women who are in their feminine and create success, learn to reframe and have a positive mindset. You need to take anything that happened to you and reframe it to see the positive in it, because that is the true power of feminine energy. Number 3, despite as a woman being able to multitask, you need to be able to prioritize. Do not diversify your focus more than you need to. Have goals and a target that you're working towards in certain seasons of your life. I've talked to you about bullet journaling. I've talked to you about mindset. If you haven't seen that, go onto my podcast or go onto YouTube and look it up. There are success principles, 8 success principles, I believe it's called. You need to understand what's important, and don't try and spread yourself thin like butter on crusty toast. You need to be thick butter with caviar on top, babe. And if you've never had crusty white baguette with a thick butter slab and caviar that is black, I don't know, you need to try it. You just need to try it. Even if the caviar's fake, just try that, because a combination has got me obsessed. There is the Eisenhower principle. Things are either important and urgent, those things you do right now. Things that are important and not urgent, you write down to do for tomorrow. Things that are urgent but not important, you delegate. And things that are not urgent and not important, you don't do. So you need to write down all the things you need to do and put them into one of those 4 Eisenhower categories. He was the president of America, wasn't he? I believe. And that's the Eisenhower principle of important and urgent. You cannot diversify and do everything. This morning, I had a massive go at my husband because he was telling me to find all his stuff. I'm sure he won't appreciate me sharing this. Actually, he doesn't care. He doesn't even listen. So I'm going to tell you. He loses everything and I have to find everything, to the point where my son is like, I don't know where this is, constantly. And I'm like, well, find it, Leo. And he goes, no, you find it, because you find everything. I am not Scooby-Doo. I am not solved the mystery over here, And I said to the men in my family, I said, listen, I appreciate what you're doing, right? But I will lose my living mind, because I cannot be spread thin like margarine on crusty toast. I am butter with caviar. Do not come for me, because I didn't ask for you, okay? Back away. Have priorities. We learn as women to be everything for everyone, and so thinly spread and so highly strung. And I have seen many productive, successful, amazing, beautiful women, but I've never seen relaxed women. And it's time for the season of relaxed, happy women. Number 4, find time for yourself, on the back of number 3. If you have time to yourself, not only are you putting yourself first, in the whole premise of my book, the rules, which is the 13 rules to feminine energy, embetterment, every aspect of femininity and all of that stuff. The point I want to make here, though, is not just put yourself first so others will like you and gravitate towards you. The point I want to make here is, if you don't have time to yourself, you do not have time for silence. And that means put your phone down for 10 minutes. Those moments when you're standing in line at the shop, I want to pull my phone out, babe. I'm human. I'm addicted to scroll. I get it. But if you don't have time for yourself, you don't know how to make choices. You don't know how to listen to your feminine wisdom. You don't know how to listen to your body. Do you know how your body speaks to you? Through pain. Hip pain, back pain, leg pain, finger pain, eyebrow pain, whatever, right? It speaks to you through pain. The body holds the score. Read that book, babe, okay? It's on my book list on Amazon. Margarita Nazarenko, Amazon. I've got my book list on there. Do not endlessly self-sacrifice your time and deprioritize yourself for the sake of everything else and not listen to your body. You need to have moments of silence. You don't always need to be producing content, producing something, producing food, producing, because you're not going to listen to your feminine wisdom. Your body hurts for a reason. Things hurt for a reason. Listen, acute with your ear, okay? Number 5, discipline. Would you rather feel the pain of discipline or the pain of regret? I decided a while ago I would rather feel the pain of discipline. I really did not enjoy the pain of regret on not actioning some things, and I would rather feel the pain of discipline. You have your zones of responsibility. You have your zones of what you can do. You show up for yourself. The idea of having confidence for me is based and predicated not on feeling grandiose, big and larger than life, but it is more so predicated on the fact that I will show up for myself. When I don't show up for myself, when I don't put the food into my body that I want to put into my body, when I don't fuel myself, my mind, my body, myself in every way, I lose confidence. Why? Because I am not confident in myself showing up for me. If I'm confident in a friend, I'm confident that she will be there for me. Same with yourself. If you don't show up with yourself, you do not have confidence in yourself. That way you will develop it if you have discipline. That is number 5. Number 6, willingness to admit fault. For me, /vulnerability, because I can admit fault. But for me, vulnerability was hard to admit. I remember being at drama school and my drama school teacher, Clive, said to me, Clive, what was his surname? Owens? Clive Duncan? Clive Duncan. Yeah, I think that was his name, Clive Duncan. And he said to me, you don't show your vulnerability. You're always trying to hide your vulnerability. And I literally did not know what that meant. That was how far away it was from me. I was like, what do you want me to do? Cry? Like, I cry in scenes all the time. When we're acting, I'll cry. I don't care. I guess it was about admitting vulnerability to myself, that I'm not able to do everything, that I'm not good at everything, that I'm not always okay. And I still don't really know how to do that because I have learned to be okay. In every life situation, I have learned to analyze it and be okay and walk through it with my head high, which I guess is a superpower too. But vulnerability means, I don't always feel like the best thing since sliced bread. And sometimes, I feel down, or sometimes I feel this, that, or the other, or overwhelmed. Right now is a season of overwhelm for me. I find it hard to turn off my brain, with work and young kids and, life in general. But it's the willingness to say you were wrong, say you're sorry, or say you are vulnerable. And especially a big question that I get from women is, if I've made mistakes, how do I forgive myself? Well, therein lies the willingness to admit fault and move forward accordingly. 7, the willingness to always grow and learn. This piece sits firmly in the whole notion that if you don't work, then people will find you boring if you're a stay-at-home mom. And I am not a stay-at-home mom. Despite me having my child full-time, I also work, which I don't know why, but it's my passion. I guess that's why. The point being, this point sits firmly in the fact that when women go to work because they are afraid that they are somehow boring to society because they're a mother, despite doing literally the most important job a woman can do, and that's raise the next generation. I do believe that, or a man can do. What higher purpose could you possibly serve than the betterment of humanity? And if that is the cure of a disease, that is also in that category of the betterment of society and the greater good, right? So mothers fit into that category, and the sacrificial part of it, and fathers who do that, right? So the willingness to always grow and learn means that even if you are a stay-at-home parent or a mum, if you're watching this, I guess, always doing classes, watching development videos, always bettering yourself. And if this is not your jam, like self-development, I love it. But is it skiing or ice skating, if that's what you've always done? Always improving so that you never feel that you're out of the loop or out of society, so that you never feel you're on the back burner in any kind of way. And if it means having a sourdough starter, whatever that means. I hear Americans say it all the time, in the fridge and make your sourdough, and cooking is your thing, then that's your thing. But you're always having some way to grow and develop yourself. Number 8, you're a self-starter. You're a self-motivator. Nobody else needs to kick you up the ass. This is something that all divine feminine women have in common. They have an inner internal energy that they know how to switch on. This, I would have to really sit down and deduce how to teach you. If you want me to, let me know, because it will really take me some time to really understand how to teach it. I know how to feel it, but I don't really know how to teach it yet. But the ability to see your future, manifest your future, and reward yourself and motivate yourself, because you are the powerhouse of your relationships and your husband and your children. You are the one who elevates and creates, okay? So you need to be a self-starter. If people have to drag you through life, you are not in your divine feminine energy. Number 9, self-determination. This is a tricky one. I was listening to somebody say on a podcast that the idea of manifestation is a poisonous and a bad idea, because if you believe in manifestation and everything is your fault and everything is determined by you, then it's really bad for people who have suffered from something they did not cause, illnesses, etc. And I fully agree. But I think the piece that is, I cannot deny that there's so many things that I feel I've manifested in my life, from bad to good. It's just this undeniable force and energy of like attracting like. Now, I don't know what that means globally, and I don't know what that means for every person, but I can't deny that I think there is some energy that exists in that level, right? However, the self-determination factor is of everything being your responsibility and your fault is useful as a mindset, because despite it being your fault and despite it being your responsibility and despite it being up to you to solve, it is a place of power that has gotten me through a lot of things in my life from my childhood to now, where I feel that if I can get through something, or I have in some way caused it, I feel like I can get better. It allows me to get through life in a smoother way. I found that a lot of successful feminine energy women, instead of being a victim, say they take it on the chin and they say, this is me and I'm going to get through this. And they have a life that is incredible. And maybe even people who have had terrible circumstances, have gotten through things, and they have found that people in dire straits that make it through are the ones who have undeniable life force and that way of saying that it's on me and I can do it. And take with that what you will, but I prefer to think that I cause my life and I manifest it, because I guess it gives me comfort and power, and you should try it. Number 10, they have an I can do it mindset. Often I bump into people who say to me like, be vulnerable, show that you can't do it. You can't always do everything by yourself. And I can't. I love help. Help me, pay for me, do my things, do it for me. Let's hire all the people and all the help. Great, fantastic. But if I need to, I can do it. I can do it. Like, do you think that before I wrote a book, I felt like I could write a book? No. Do you think I felt like I could show up on camera? No. Do you think I felt like I could make it through things I've never shared, obviously on platforms? But I did. And I think that the thing that these women who are very much in their power have in common is the I can do it attitude. They just can do it. There is no I can't do it. I just can, because I'm here and I have to. I hope that helped you. I hope you adopt some of these beliefs, and I will see you on the next one. Love you lots like jelly tots, or you'll hear me on the next one. Ciao.